without any kind of fear of contradiction, that this person who goes by the name Dr. Matthew Lani is not registered with you guys?
We have checked our register. There is no such person.
You know, it was in June this year when the HPCSA actually came out to say about 120 bogus doctors have been found through your own campaign, your own work to try to root out these people from your profession. But I wonder how this particular story came to your attention. I mean, have you seen anything like this before?
No, not yet, but it's part of a process. Getting rid of bogus doctors in our country is a process and definitely not an event. We get quite a number of them, and my investigators are busy trying to get through to this particular person. We are now in consultation with the Department of Health in Gauteng and the SAPS to be able to liaise. My investigators are busy so that once ultimately the arrest is made, we'll be able to give you information on it. You must remember, we are in the business of guiding the profession and protecting communities. We cannot let people out there treat unsuspecting communities without the relevant qualifications.
Absolutely. I mean, at risk here is not just people's lives, but also the credibility of the profession. Trust is such an important thing in what doctors do. But besides perhaps just, the Twitter trends and things like that, I'm hoping we'll be able to speak about what the law actually says and ways in which this person breached the law. What are the expectations from the HPCSA when someone wants to practice as a medical doctor in South Africa?
In terms of our act, no single doctor should practice in this country without having registered with us. So if somebody is practicing without any registration, that's an offense. It's a criminal offense, and they get arrested and prosecuted and sentenced.
And so you are able to tell us this morning, without any kind of fear of contradiction, that this person who goes by the name Dr. Matthew Lani is not registered with you guys?
We have checked our register. There is no such person, and therefore we are investigating, and we should be able to report as soon as we've got all our facts.
I want to put this out as a disclaimer. I do not support what Dr. Matthew did. And this video is in no way justifying his actions. However, there is a pattern with South African media, especially when it comes to Black people. They have a tendency of dragging Black people. Whenever Black people do something, I swear it will be front page news. I wish that they gave this attention to a white doctor or a white teacher who lied about their qualifications, because we know they are in these industries, in engineering and so forth. Do you guys give them the same level of attention? This country is so obsessed with showing Black people as corrupt, as uneducated, as liars, as cheaters and scammers, but they don't do the same whenever there is another race. How many white people in this country don't even have qualifications, but they're in high positions? They're teachers, they're nurses, they don't have qualifications. How many of them? Do they get checked? That's the thing. When a white person is employed, do they get checked? Even when they leave and they eventually come back to work again, do they get checked? I'm curious, do they get checked? Because the way people are going about this Dr. Matthew situation, they're like, oh, I'm doing my job. No, relax. People haven't been doing their jobs in this country. And this guy who reported Dr. Lani has been reporting him ever since. Oh, suddenly because it got media hype and suddenly people are looking like they're doing their jobs. Relax, okay? Relax. Yazin, I'm not a fan, by the way, but the way the media is going on about this, like, there are many news that you could be focusing on. That trafficking is happening in this country. They are newsworthy. Instead of going after social media news, like things that we are already aware about. Like, this is social media. Like, people use it for entertainment. So angazi bra, like, this is boring. Like, it's not giving. Like, it's annoying. Like, I want to see something. Give me something in this country, because I know that a news that's happening in this country. So give me something. All day, every day, Dr. Matthew. Like, exactly. This is what I'm talking about. If Dr. Matthew was a white man, he would have gotten away with being a fake doctor. Because people investigate not just fake doctors, but even genuine actual doctors whom are black people. People believe, especially white people, that black people cannot amount to anything but cleaning and gardening. And if we ever amount to anything, then it's probably through corruption. I mean, South African national news have upgraded to a national gossip site, where if you didn't catch the news of what happened on social media, you can just catch up on national news. Because they recap basically what we already know. And they just put it on a public platform just for the nation to just see. But they wouldn't do it though to a white man. They would never do it. They would do it to us, but never to a white man. Hey Yolanda, I hope this finds you well. I'm gonna answer this question of yours genuinely, because I see that it comes from a genuine place. This video is an extension of my previous video, which mainly talks about how South African media hyper-focus on the negativity which black people tends to do, and how quickly they are into reporting such news about black people, and how quick they are to receive massive attention. To answer your question, yes, everything is about race. Because if Dr. Matthew was a white man, this thing would have not reached a massive scale like this. In fact, it would have died in a couple of hours, and you wouldn't have known about this whole thing, including Black Twitter. This self-proclaimed doctor unalived over 105 children. This news, as an example, did not even make national news in South Africa. You did not even know about it. I'm certain of it, let alone even Black Twitter. Because people tend to hyper focus on the negativity of black people like this. Well, there's a bigger picture going on extent of making a documentary and making money from the fact that she unalived children in Africa, all because she lied that she was a doctor and giving them medication, medically experimenting on these children. So yes, this is why I said race has everything to do with it. Everything, darling, everything. We live in a system that's hyper built on race. For your curiosity, if this woman was charged, no, she was never charged. In case maybe you're curious, she was never arrested. She was taken from Uganda back to America, and she continued to live her life as a fake doctor. I am going to stretch it further and bring it back to SA, because I can guarantee you that I have many examples of this. There's a difference in how the media portrays black people doing crime. We have a name, a face on that article, like this fake doctor, for example. However, when they get to report white people doing crime, we don't have a name, we don't have a face. In fact, they just tell us where the person worked. This is how they report white people in this country. The news went nowhere, where they worked for 5 years at Chris Hani Hospital. They earned a pay without even proper qualifications. They were treating patients. And the only thing the media can give us, the citizens, is this. By the way, this happened in 2015. Like, I can show you many stories of how they report black people in the media. Now, I won't be surprised personally if this doctor, this fake doctor, comes to South Africa after a few years later to talk about her medical experimenting on children and how she escaped the law basically, and the media did nothing, basically did not even talk about this woman or someone along her lines, basically a man, for example. They will not broadcast this news on the media. The only thing they can give us is something like Dr. Matthew was a black doctor who was just portraying, for status. They won't advertise what these people are doing because they get away with so much. And when we talk about them, they be like, oh, where do they get it? They're everywhere, like everywhere. And then on top of that, she makes money from the pains of those children.